Hi guys, today I want to show you how to achieve this super bronzy look using all my monthly faves. Hi everyone, how are we all? I hope you are doing really well. It's been a little minute since I've done any kind of makeup look or Instagram video, and I've been in a bit of a makeup funk recently. I'm sure if you followed my page throughout lockdown, and thanks so much for doing so if you have, but you've seen I've been doing a lot of creative looks, and then all of a sudden I was just in a bit of a rut, didn't really know what to do, and I was so excited to obviously get back to all of my gorgeous clients, and then Boris made the famous announcement. So I think it put us all in a bit of a funk, so I wanted to come back and just do quite a chill video just to show you products that I've been really loving, my kind of go-to glam routine. So it's nothing overcomplicated, there's no cut creases involved or anything like that. It's just a simple glam that I can go to a restaurant with or go on a night out with, and it doesn't take us too long. Obviously with us filming a video it would take us a bit longer, but if I wasn't filming a video it would take us roughly around 40 minutes at most to do this look. So it's really easy and I hope you like it, and stay tuned. Before I jump right in as well, I just want to ask you, please subscribe to my channel. You can find the subscription box just underneath the video. There's a little bell there. If you click that bell, you'll be notified every time that I upload, because I'm going to do more videos, I promise. And also please give the video a like and a comment down below if you like out my face. Now I've done my skin prep and my skin's been pretty good recently. It's coming up to time of the month, so there's a couple of little hormonal breakouts, but aside that I'm pretty happy. And I guess they're my first favourites of the month. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum, and you can see I'm out of this. I have used this a lot. It is absolutely beautiful. It's a little dropper. It's absolutely gorgeous in texture. It's so silky smooth and soft. It really just gives a glow to the skin, and I don't know if it's showing up like a lot on camera, but my skin's just a lot more radiant than what it has been. Also, yes, my face is paler than my chest and my hands, but I have had tan on for a little while, and obviously it comes off your face first, so do bear with that. But this has just been really helping with the overall texture of my skin. It's been making it a lot more plump, a lot more hydrated, and I just absolutely love this. I've then been following that up with the Ren Radiance Glow Vitamin C Gel Cream. So for me, I have quite oily skin. It can get dry in patches in the winter, but for the most part it's quite oily. So I can't use anything that's really thick. It's going to clog my pores, I'm going to break out, and it's just going to make the oil worse. So this is a gel based cream, so it's really quite thin, but it's also really deeply hydrating. And because it's got vitamin C and it's really brightening, but these two together I swear have been the best investment I've made. And I bought these, I want to say in like April maybe, and it's August now, so they've lasted as a good one, and I've used these morning and night every single night, and I highly recommend them. This is a little bit more pricey, obviously. I would say this is quite like mid-range, but both of them are absolutely beautiful and I highly recommend them. So next thing I'm going to do to prep the face is I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, which is a fantastic setting spray. It's really good for those who need help with oil control, or if you're putting makeup on that you want to last your day till night. I absolutely swear by this. It's a staple in my kit and I love it. I put a little bit on as a primer as well, just because I feel like it helps give a bit of a tacky base and it helps the makeup stick a bit better. Also, COVID tip, I really recommend this for annoying mask makeup. So it's the most irritating thing in the world that we're wearing masks at the minute, and when you take your mask off it's caked in makeup, or at least for me it is. This honestly helps it not to budge, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I'm then going to go in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is absolutely lovely for hydrating the skin, but also giving it a really nice tacky base for your foundation to stick to. So I'll just put a couple of pumps of that on and I'll work that all over. And this bottle has lasted me so long. I bought this in New York in Sephora in February, and that's how much is left. So you can see it's really sticky, so it's almost like a glue underneath your foundation to really hold it there together. As always, I'm going in with the NARS Sheer Glow, and I'm in the shade Punjab at the minute. This is my tan shade. I can go down to Syracuse, but that's only if I'm very, very tanned. So good couple of coats of tan on for that. But this is the shade that I use when I've got self tan on and when I'm kind of at a medium tone. If I'm a bit lighter, I go up to about a Santa Fe, and sometimes I'll just mix in the middle. So this foundation for me is my all-time favourite. I've used it for years and years and years. My sister uses it. A load of people I know use it because it's just so good. It's that natural medium coverage that you can definitely build up to full. And you can see it leaves a bit of a nice luminosity to the skin, but it's not too glowy. So I don't love to be matte even though I'm oily, but for me, even though this is called a sheer glow foundation, it's not wet looking on the skin and it's not going to slide around and mix with any oils. It's absolutely beautiful. I recommend it to everyone for every single skin type. It's gorgeous. So my next favourite is from Huda Beauty, and this is her Tantour in the shade Light. So it's a cream contour powder. It's absolutely gorgeous. Again, I bought this in February in New York. You can see I'm just starting to hit the bottom a little bit, but there's still a lot of product in because a little bit goes such a long way. It's such a creamy product that blends out so easily. So I'll just stamp that in to the hollows of the cheekbones and around the temples and blend that out. It's so easy to blend that I find it foolproof. So if you're someone that struggles with contouring and you're quite a beginner for makeup, I would really recommend cream products over powder because they're not as harsh and they're easy to blend. Also, for any blondes out there, do you feel me pain when you've had your hair freshly dyed? Thanks to Mel at Francis Marshall, it's beautiful, but because it's such a white blonde, you just have to be so careful when you blend your contour in or your bronzer in case you dye your hair orange. So in the summer months, I'm obsessed with blush. I just think it looks so nice, and I love like an orangey corally tone, especially when I've got a tan. So for cream blush, I actually use lipstick sometimes because it's multi-purpose. You can use it on your cheeks, on your lips. Don't forget that your products are always multi-purpose. Get the most out of what you buy so you're not having to buy 100 products to do 100 different things. But this is from Stila and it's in the shade Valentina. So in there it looks scary. It's not going to look like that on my cheeks. So I just put a couple of dots on each cheek and it blends out to be just such a beautiful orange coral. So as you can see, that's just gave a lovely like peachy coral glow. And because it's a lipstick, I find that it lasts longer sometimes than a cream blush as well. So it's a really great base. I will be applying some powders. But for me, especially because I've got oily skin, thinner layers and building them up just works really well to help with the longevity of your makeup. I'm then using some of my favourite concealers, which are from Revolution in the Conceal and Define. These are the super size ones. You get the smaller ones as standard, but I would really recommend getting the bigger ones because they're not much more expensive and they'll last you a lot longer. So I mix a couple of shades just because I don't have one that's like perfect at the minute. So I use C10. And I'll go just under the eyes because I've got such blue toned eyes, baggy eyes. Not the best, but touch down the ridge of the nose. So that one's quite similar to my skin tone. And then I pick up one in C4, which is a lot lighter, and I just add just a pinch to under the eyes. And just in the centre because that's going to help brighten. So once I've concealed, I'm going in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is my all-time go-to powder. It's absolutely amazing. Your makeup just doesn't budge with it. It doesn't crease a whole lot. It's not too drying. And I use that. I don't necessarily bake a whole lot because I think sometimes it can make you a little bit more creasy. So the only areas I bake is underneath, but right up to the upper eye, I just put a light layer like that, and I focus more powder here because I want to bake where the oils are, so the powder soaks up the oils, but under the eyes, I don't feel like you need to. Obviously, you do you, whatever works for you, but for me, I think with powder under the eyes, the older I get, I'm 26 in a couple of weeks. So the older I get, the less powder I want under there so the less little crepey lines that I'm seeing. So the areas that I bake a little bit are the sides of my nose, because I get so oily there, and also my smile lines, so I just go across the tash. And yes, I do have smile lines now, which is so fun. So with the rest of the powder in the cap, I'm going to pick it up on a stippling brush, and I'm just going to lightly set the rest of the face. Just in a light layer. This is totally optional, and it very much depends on your skin type, but for me, I like to keep everything locked in place. If you have dry skin or more mature skin even, I wouldn't recommend this. So that's all set. And I'm going to leave this powder sitting here because I'm going to get on with the eyes. So the palette that I'm using is incredible, not much fallout at all, but if I ever use a loose glitter pigment, it can fall underneath. So save yourself a little bit of powder there, and if anything falls down, you can just wipe it away and mistakes are fixed. So usually my all-time favourite thing to prime the eyes with is the P. Louise base, because you get so much better shadow payoff with it, and it just makes the colours be so much more vibrant and just perform so much better. But for a neutral look, I think sometimes that can make your makeup look quite harsh, and I don't mean in a bad way, but for when you're doing more of a neutral look that you want to be quite soft, I prefer just going in with a touch of concealer and a fairly dark toned one as well to help tie in with those bronzy tones. I just find that the colours just blend a lot more softer and you don't get that intense shadow. So it really just depends on what look you're going for. So whenever I do a bronzy kind of look, I always go in with a really big fluffy brush like this one, which is the Morphe M441. And I run a little bit of bronzer. This is the MAC Give Me Sun. And I run that in the crease. So I like my shadows to be quite blown out. Obviously do this to suit your eye shape. And this is not precise at all. This is going on quite messy. But this is just going to tie in with the rest of your face when you've got your bronzer on. And just provide that lovely warmth. So I'll go quite high in this inner corner because I'll bring that into like a nose contour later. And I'll wing that out quite far. So I quite like everything to look a bit more pulled out, a bit more exaggerated. I find I have quite small eyes, so I do this to help exaggerate the shape. So I've been loving a couple of palettes this month, but I would say probably the one I've used the most has been the Me, Myself and Mitchell palette from Beauty Bay. And this is her. She's huge. She's absolutely amazing. The pan sizes are so big. If I show you, if I put a little brush in that pan, and that's quite a big brush, they're massive. So it also means that it's quite versatile because you can use a blush brush because the pan size is so big. This and this together as a blush, absolutely gorgeous. But as much as this is quite a colourful palette, the neutrals in it are absolutely beautiful, so it's perfect for this look as well. The second one I love and adore is the Be Perfect Carnival XL Pro palette with Stacey Marie, who's another amazing makeup artist. And this is her in all her glory. She's absolutely amazing. I love this palette so much. The colour payoff of both of these palettes, it's like nothing I've ever used before, and I know I'm quite late to the party with getting these. Everyone on Instagram seemed to have them but me, and my god, I'm blown away with them. I know that obviously the third drop of the Stacey Marie and Be Perfect palettes is coming this month, which I am so excited for and can't wait to get my hands on. But for today I'm going to use the Mitchell palette. So I'm picking up a little MAC 217 brush, and I'm going in with the shade Man Made, which is a gorgeous red toned like brick brown. And I'm doing what's kind of like a spotlight / halo eye. What I mean by that is you focus in the darkness on the inner and outer corners. So I'm just going to stamp them there to begin with. like I said, this is quite an easy look, so it's nothing too heavy, but you just focus them on the outer corners and slowly wiggle your brush up. And you can see I've tapped in once and the pigment on that is beautiful, but just the blend of it, it's so seamless. Honestly, these shadows, both those palettes are like nothing I've ever used before, so if you're thinking about getting them, don't sleep on it and do it. So I'm just grazing that. And I hold my brush right at the very end, which is where you should be holding your brush, because you want to apply light pressure, especially when using such pigmented shadows. So you focus in the darkness just at the outer corners and leaving that middle space blank, which is where I'm going to apply a shimmer shadow or pigment. Haven't quite decided yet. And I'm just going to repeat that on this eye. So next, with the same brush, I just want to deepen that up a little bit. So we're going to go in with the shade Monday, which is just a really, really deep brown. And we're going to place that not so high up, so just on the outer edges and not too far past the crease. So then with that fluffy brush that I've still got a touch of bronzer on, I'm going into the shade Meh, which is just like a sand coloured brown. I'm just connecting that inner portion a little bit and just helping blow that blend out so it's nice and smoky and diffused. Got the difference makeup makes. I feel like my eyes just look so different. So sticking with this palette, I'm going to go in with this beautiful rusty red brick shade called Meaty. I don't know how I feel about that name, but I'm going to pick that up on my finger, because I find that with shimmer shadows you get the best payoff if you either put it on with your finger or if you get a little synthetic brush and if you wet it. So I'm going to start off just with my finger, see how that goes, and we might switch over to a brush. So just applying that in the centre. That's such a gorgeous shade. And I'm not going too high up with it, because I'm going to mix like a golden shade in, because I don't want this look to be too dark. But this is the look just on the finger. It's so beautiful. So then we're going to pick up the shade Master, which is like a true gold. And I'm going to pop that just at the centre. I mean, I've barely touched that. I'm using the lightest pressure and the pigment on it is so beautiful. I feel like my lighting's quite poor today, so I can only apologise for that, but I will take some photos of this look as well in natural lighting, and I'll post that alongside the video just so you can see how it looks in real life. So now for a little bit of an extra pop, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liners. And these aren't necessarily a favourite this month, these are a favourite always. So I'll tap that on just down the centre, and then just with your finger before it dries, just pat it out lightly, just to diffuse the product a little bit. And this one's in the shade Midnight Cowboy, which is probably my most used. It's just a gorgeous champagne gold. And you can see that just brings a bit of an added something, and it brings the shimmers forward that bit more. These are so much easier than using a loose glitter too, because I find you just don't get the product everywhere with a loose glitter, much as I love them and you do get beautiful impact from them. once you pick it up on your brush and you go to apply it, it goes absolutely everywhere. So with these, it's just an easy option. And I don't find that the crack, I've tried a good few brands in terms of liquid glitters, and I find usually the biggest problem with them is that they crack, they separate, after a few hours they flake off and they're under your eyes. These ones are just a staple. So now I'm going in with the same shades under the eye. And I like quite a smoky under eye because I find it really opens your eyes up. So if I just put that one colour just across, it closes your eyes off. So I'm starting with the darker colour. Like the medium dark colour, I should say. And I apply that first from inner to outer corner. And then we're going to start blending down, 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 down. Longer brush into the shade Meh, which it's Monday today, so quite fitting. And just underneath, drag that down. And a touch of bronzer, just like at the top, and bring that down. I just love like a blown out lower lash line. And it's not for everyone, but I just think it just makes the look just complete. And right at the lash line, I'm going to pick up a flat definer brush, which just looks like this. This one was just from Beauty Bay and it was a couple of pounds and it was genuinely really good. And I'm going into that really deep shade called Monday. And I'm just taking that right to the lash line and stamping that on just at the outer corner. And just wiggling your brush back and forward to blend. And then just going back to your bigger brush and just blending once again. So I'm feeling like my eyes are looking quite dark, which is what I wanted, but I still want to look awake and I still want to look bright. So I'm going in with the Rimmel liner, and this is their Scandalise. This is their waterproof Kajal liner, and this is in the shade Nude 05. And I'm just popping that in the waterline. And then just with a pencil brush, a little bit of highlight. This is MAC Whisper of Guilt, which is an oldie, but a goodie. I find I go back to it all the time. But just any kind of gold toned highlighter will do. I'm right in the inner corners and just under the brow. Just to lift those brows up and make us look a bit more awake again. So now I'm just going to dust that excess powder away from under here, which caught the little bits of fallout that I did have. Not a lot, but a little. And I just use a clean fan brush for this, but you can use any fluffy brush just to wipe that away. Just going back in with the Beauty Blender and just tap it underneath again. So I'm just going in with my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara, which has been a favourite for a while, but I feel like I want to switch up mascaras. So if any of you have any recommendations, whether that's drugstore, high-end, somewhere in the middle, please do leave a comment. Tell us which mascaras are really good. I feel like I have decent lashes. So this one's quite good, but I think it's because when you've used something for so long, sometimes you just need to change it up. And I've tried the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and it was really, really good. But I feel like for me, under my lower lash line, it just transferred. So I had little black specks and smudges throughout the day. So I know that's really controversial to say because it seems like everyone absolutely loves that mascara, and rightly so, because when it goes on it is really, really lovely, but it's just not for me. So I do have some new lashes to try out, which I'm really excited about, but obviously they're not a favourite. Do excuse that little mascara mark there. I'm going to wait for it to dry and then I'm going to show you how to get rid of it. But the favourite that I have had is this new lash glue that I've got in, which is from House of Lashes, and this is their clear adhesive. I'd heard so much hype about this, and I know they've got a black one as well, which I'm yet to try. But I know everyone was saying how much of a good lash glue it was, and for me, because it's a fair bit more expensive than Duo, not by a lot, but I think this is around 10 or 11 pound, and my Duo glue I normally use, which is the brush on lash adhesive, that's around 6 on Amazon, so it's nearly double, and you don't get like more product or anything. But when I got this seriously makes your lashes not move. They're not going anywhere all night. If you cry in them, which I have done, they're not going to come off. It's just amazing. To be honest, it's almost too good, because the next morning getting that stubborn bit of lash glue off at the lash band is a nightmare. So if you're going to choose to wear lashes every day, which sometimes I do, I wouldn't recommend using this every single day, just because it's extremely heavy duty use. But if you're going somewhere where you know your lashes need to be on all day, for bridal makeup, anything like that, I seriously recommend this. And the lashes I got in, I am so excited to try these. These are from Tatty Lashes and Jamie Genevieve, which I'm sure you all know who Jamie Genevieve is, but if you don't, where do I begin? She's absolutely amazing. She's a Glaswegian makeup artist, and she's just perfection. She's just beautiful. Like, she's beautiful. So when I heard she was coming out with lashes with Tatty Lashes, which are already incredible lash brand anyway, I had to get them. So I bought all 3 pairs, which I haven't tried yet, but today I'm going to use TL Jamie 2, which are quite flared out. So they're more tapered at the inner corner. So they're lovely and fluffy, and I'm excited to try them. So that's the lashes on. They are lovely. They're bigger than what I thought they were, but they're really, really lightweight, really, really comfortable. Obviously you can see the little bit of a joint at the minute, but that's just while the glue's drying. But all in all, I really like them. I think they're perfect because they've got so many like gaps in it, you can still see the eyeshadow. But in terms of that little bit of mascara, pick up a clean spoolie once it's dry, not before, and just scratch that away, and it will come right off. Okay, so for brows, I haven't really been doing a whole lot with my brows, because for the past couple of months I had them tinted, waxed and laminated, and they were beautiful and they didn't need a thing doing to them. But it's been about 7-8 weeks maybe even since I've had them done, so they're a bit sparse and they need doing. But honestly, if you go back on my Instagram photos of pretty much all of the makeups I've been doing, I've barely had a thing through my eyebrows, because you just don't need it. And for anyone that's in the northeast, in Sunderland in particular, and that's where she's based, my auntie is just going solo. She's been working for Benefit for a while, and now she's decided to go solo, do it part-time and work in a salon, and go for it and do brows and lashes and waxing, nails, and she's absolutely amazing. So if you haven't checked her out already, her name on Instagram and on Facebook is Look Who's Talking Brow, and her name's Kay. And if you're from that area, get booked in. She's absolutely amazing, and she's such good prices as well. For me, it just saves you clotting around with your eyebrows every day, because if I'm going out, I like to have just sometimes a little bit of a base on, but more than anything, as long as I've got my brows on and a little bit mascara, sometimes a touch of concealer, I can get through. But with that, it means that on a morning, you wake up and it's all done, so it's perfect. So I just use the brush that's on the end of that, by the way, and I'm in the shade 3, and I just do a small flicking highlight strokes. So back onto the face, I'm going back in with the same bronzer I used on the eyes. And I'm just lightly dusting that on the cheeks, avoiding the blonde hair. And just across the temples. You don't need a whole lot because you've got that cream contour down, and I think that's why it's important to have that base. But the cream contour is a little bit more of a cool tone shade, where this is really, really warm. So this is going to bronze you up nicely. And don't forget to take it down the neck. Now I'm going to do a slight nose contour, but not a lot. And by that I mean that I'm just going to connect the shadows to the nose. For me, I've got quite a small nose, so I like to make it look thinner but longer. So I just do, from the shadow, just a line going down, which looks crazy at the minute, but once it's blended out, it'll be better. And just down here. Sorry about the noise, just the ice cream van popping round. Down the side of the nose. Touch underneath, but I'm not going to round it off too much because, like I say, I like my nose to look a little bit longer, which might sound weird to a lot of people, but I don't feel like it's in proportion to my face. And then just pick up your beauty blender and tap over that again. And it makes the nose look a little bit smaller, but more so than that, it's just bronzing up your face a little bit more and tying it in with the rest of your face. So now I'm going back into the Mitchell palette, and on a Kiko 10 brush, I'm going into the shades Mr. H and Milkshake, because they make the perfect blush shades. And like I said, I love a bit of blush. I'll put a touch on the nose, little sun-kissed nose. And I'll place my blush quite far back. If I put it here, I've got quite a round face as it is, so I don't want my face to look even chubbier. So I apply it in a backwards motion. But just apply it whichever way suits you. Now we're going back in with that MAC highlight and a little Real Techniques setting brush. I'm just hitting the tops of the cheekbones. Just at the top. Tips of the nose. Tip, not tips. I put a little bit in between here as well to kind of space my eyes out a little bit more and bring the bridge of my nose forward. And I hit a Cupid's bow and a touch on the chin to bring your chin forward, and I always hit just above the brow. And that's just such a beautiful golden highlight that's not overboard, and it's just melts into the skin so well. And then I'm going back in with the Urban Decay All Nighter and liberally spraying the face. The sun's coming out, it's ruining me lighting. Ignore it if you can. So on to lips, and my favourite part of lips is lip liner. I feel like it makes such a massive difference, and to be honest, I would probably even rather just wear a lip liner and then a lip gloss, but my all-time favourite lip liners ever are the Peaches and Cream lip liners. I can't describe to you how good these are. They're absolutely beautiful. They are, I've got all of them. I think there's 5 shades in total. They're so creamy, but not to the point that if you put a lip liner on and it's too creamy, it's going to bleed. So if you want that really precise, sharp line, you can use these, but because they're still as creamy as they are, you can fill the whole lip in, and it looks just as like a beautiful lipstick. They're so long wearing. The shade range is beautiful, but I just really want them to expand them. So at the minute, the shades that they have are more like brown toned neutrals. I am dying for them to come out with a red because I love red lipstick. I want them to come out with burgundies, with pinks, and hopefully they will. But they're an amazing brand anyway. There's not a lot of products I don't like from Peaches. Their pigments are unreal. Their brushes are fantastic. Their liners, lip glosses, everything. But also, I just wanted to give a little mention to these amazing liners that I realised that I'd not really mentioned before. So I found them at Wilkinson's and they're just from Essence. And these are the Essence Soft Contouring Lip Liners. And they were £1 each. And because they were £1, I thought I'll pick them up. These are the ones that I found and the only ones that they had in, because I bought every one that they had. I bought 6 and they're all in like the kind of mauve tones. So the Peaches ones are more brown toned nudes. These are more pinky mauvey toned nudes, which I find are quite suit. I find if you've got blonde hair, it's a really flattering colour on you, and also if you're quite pale. But these were £1, so I didn't have the highest of expectations for them, but oh my god, they're absolutely amazing. I don't know if they do any more shades than these. I'm really hoping that they do, but they're fantastic and they're £1. They're not quite as creamy as the Peaches ones, but they're not super hard. I find these better than a MAC lip pencil, and they're so much cheaper. They're so affordable. So if you can find them, I don't know if they sell them online as well, but these are them. Get your hands on them because they're absolutely amazing. Before this, seeing as though we're sticking to the my faves, I'm going to go in with the Peaches Borderline Lip Liner, which is like a cool toned pinky nude, and I'm just going to line the lips. So that's the lip liner on, and I do overline a touch in the centre, just on the top lip, because I find that I've got like a bigger bottom to top lip, and I do like the look of fuller lips. I don't have my lips done. I'm thinking about it, but for now, overlining will do. So I'm going to go in with MAC Myth, which is an oldie but goodie again, right in the centre, and this is a very pale pinky nude. So I apply that in the centre and blend that in with a finger. I apologise, I've just realised I keep using my middle finger. I'm not sticking my finger up at the camera. So I just dot that on. Lipsticks, I don't think you can go past MAC lipsticks. I think their formulas are gorgeous. I think their shade range is amazing. I love Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks too. I was really into liquid lipsticks, and if I had to have a favourite liquid lipstick, it would be the Jeffree Star ones because they're so long lasting and they're just gorgeous. But I much prefer a bullet lipstick. I'm also going to go in there with the shade Velvet Teddy, which is my go-to nude. On the outer corner. And again, tap that in. And you could leave it there, but it's me. So I'm going to go in with a gloss. There, that's the lips. And they are beautiful, but I like a gloss. And my favourite gloss ever is from Fenty Beauty, and this is the shade Fussy. It doesn't have a huge amount of colour to it, but I'm going to pop a touch in the middle. And it's the most wet looking gloss that you can't feel. My biggest pet peeve with lip glosses is when you can feel your lips like sticking together, and it's really like gloopy and horrible. But this is such a thin formula, but it's so high shine, and I just feel like it makes your lips look fuller, juicy. They're just so nice. I absolutely love them. So my second favourite style of glosses are from Peaches and Cream. These two products are so different, so it really depends on what you're looking for. This I use, I can use it on its own, just on my bare lips, and it just makes it look like your lips but better. But that's just for like a glossy finish, and you can see it's quite like a teeth whitening shade. With these, they're so much different, but equally beautiful. So I'm going to show you on my hand. This is in the shade Melrose, which is my favourite one from Peaches. And these are full coverage glosses. So they're like a lipstick, but a gloss. So they're completely opaque, very, very glossy, but full coverage. And I'll swatch the Fenty one beside it. And you can see, it's a way thinner formula. There couldn't be any more different, but they're both beautiful. And these are my favourite glosses. And there's so many shades in the Fenty glosses now. So to finish off, I'm just going to put a little bit of mascara on the lower lashes and try not to make the awkward mascara face. Wow, this is hard to do on camera. And doesn't that just complete the look? So I'm back, I've done my hair, and this is the final look. So as you can see, it was really easy, super quick. It only took me 45 minutes to film, which shows that just normal time it would take us around half an hour, if not under, to do this. I absolutely love the lashes. So that was my first impressions of the lashes. I can't wait to try the other two pairs. But that is my go-to look using some of my favourite products for the last few months. And just to show you what it's like in natural sunlight. Glowy. And super bronzed. Finished look. So I hope you liked it. If you did, please do leave a like, leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.